What's up, fam? This your boy Sly Jones, and you're tuned into the Get Down Live. And you know when I roll out, I got the ladies of the night with me. I got my girl Livy E over here.
What's up, y'all?
And I got my girl Essence Love over here.
Hey, lovers.
Oh, they chanting love.
Hey.
What's up? What's up? The crowd is loving you, man. The crowd is loving you. It's going down. It's going down.
2020. I'm feeling
2020.
good. I'm feeling
We
good.
went all 2020. All
Yes,
2020.
all 2020. This is our
All
year.
day.
Yes.
Capricorn season, baby.
Hey.
Come on, come
And
through.
look, and
Oh, is that what it
Aquarius
is?
season.
Hey, are y'all taking care of y'all New Year's resolutions, or
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
it's working?
It's working. God is so good.
What was your New Year's resolution,
Um,
Livy?
Okay, so of course was to push our show, the Get Down Live.
Yep.
To push Inspire Africa LA.
Inspire.
To also share my faith more. I've been sharing my faith so much, so I
Awesome.
want you guys to know how good God is at all
Yes.
times. And also remember I said getting a gig that pays.
Yeah. You got to get
You
that
got
paid. Oh, man. Holla at her.
I had my first paid gig, and God is good. So I'm just so grateful. And, you know, the year is going to continue to be great.
That's so awesome, Livy. I am so
Thank you.
happy for you.
I mean, it wasn't a lot. It was small.
It doesn't matter.
Hey, it paid. You didn't do it for
Yeah.
free. It paid.
Right.
Essence, what about you?
Well, for me, you know, I celebrated my birthday on New Year's.
Hey, there we go.
So
Yeah.
New Year's Eve,
Happy
I was all the way
birthday.
live.
And her birthday suit.
And my birthday suit, almost.
With her silver heels. Y'all remember that? With the sparkly silver
Oh,
heels?
yeah, with the knife in the back. Yeah.
But, yeah,
She made some guy lucky, happy. I don't know, guy, girl, I don't know.
This year, I want to fall madly in love.
Amen.
Okay.
Same here, Essence.
I do. And I want to give my all when it comes to love.
Amen.
And I just want to love.
That sounds
I
yummy.
love love.
Yes.
That sounds
And then,
yummy.
But this year,
Give me
I
something.
have so many ideas and so many things that I'm going to be doing this year. And I'm
Yeah.
just excited about the year. And I'm excited
Good.
because I'm going to be giving my all. Just to whatever I do, I'm just going to give my all. Like
Amen.
I've always done, but even more this time. And just love even harder. Love even more.
Amen.
Like I'm all about love. So that's what I'm going to be doing this year.
Yeah.
Yes. And for you, Sly? What's
Yeah, well,
Yeah, what's going on?
You know,
Sly
I
looking
got
good,
the,
y'all.
Hey,
He
man.
looking real good.
I'm trying to lose.
Slimming down.
I'm trying to lose this
looking
weight. You know what I'm
fine.
saying? My TV show got picked up by CBS. Nah, I'm lying.
Oh my
Not
God,
yet.
you-
Not yet. Hey, Hey, I'm speaking into existence.
Amen.
You know what I'm
Hallelujah.
saying?
In
Speaking
Jesus'
into
name. Amen. I was about to start shouting.
Speaking into existence, man.
We
but
was
we
all
are,
about to go to
yeah,
the roof first.
Yeah, but you know,
Right.
I'm working on it. Y'all know I'm
You
working
are,
on
and
it.
it's gonna come because
Amen.
man, you really doing your thing. Like
I'm
seriously,
trying.
And that food,
I'm
but
trying.
when you taking us though?
I
'Cause
know.
those-
Like when
You know what?
See, I
come
seen
or
a
something.
donut and a burger and
Oh.
Lord Jesus, I saw
hey.
something.
That might be coming back around. Stay tuned.
Okay, well, we want some food. You know, I eat.
I'm gonna
eat
put y'all
too,
down.
but God
All right.
knows.
I'm gonna
Happy
put
New
y'all-
Year's to all of you.
Yeah, Happy New Year's
New
to
Year
everybody.
again.
So check it out. Okay, so let's get into the topic of the day.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
ready.
we got a special guest here too
Ooh,
today.
yes, I'm so
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think hip hop music plays a role in how men look at women? Let's go with Livy this time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like this generation, our younger generation, millennials for sure, they are influenced by these musicians who they see all over Instagram. You know what I mean? And when you hear these rappers, I can't even think of some of these songs, but the lyrics you hear, what's his name? Blueface?
It's Blueface, baby.
Tatiana. We got Tatiana. Like, this is how, you know, if it shapes our opinions, it shapes these young kids, you know, their opinions. And
Yeah.
they go around, they go to school calling their friends, calling girls Tatiana. And, you know, it's funny, but
Yeah.
it's not okay. And even though it might be funny and whatever, but subconsciously it's staying in their heads, and that's how they view our women, because we don't have anything really putting us in a positive light. Music isn't like that anymore.
Right.
It's very negative. So
What do they call him again?
Tatiana.
It's
terrible.
The crowd loves
No,
it.
it's
I
so,
am like dying
it's terrible.
in the
Like, I feel
inside.
bad for the kids who are named Tatiana. Like, it's so bad.
I
but
hope it ain't. Yeah.
no, very much so. It does shape our opinions, and even for these older men, like some of these men are so immature. I don't want to say just men, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then even it affects the women because we kind of start believing the nonsense that we hear when we see our favorite rapper or the guy who we think is so fine or, you know, has so much influence is kind of talking about us and degrading us. And if you're not strong-minded and if you don't know who you are, you can easily fall into that, into those negative stereotypes and connotations. So, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Well, I feel that with me, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
I be liking those songs.
Hey,
those beats be hitting,
that's
but Livy, Livy just said it though. It's like the beat.
It's the beat.
It's the beat. It's not really so much like when I'm like grooving, I'm not really listening too much to the song.
Right.
Like, and that's just not with hip hop. That's with a church song. And like that beat, once that beat drop, like with them 808s, it's like come through.
No, it's true.
Right?
It's true.
And so that's just like
yeah.
at church, you know, I used to sing the song, you know, the choir used to sing the song. It's called Take Back What the Devil Stole from Me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped singing that song though.
Okay.
Because I don't want to take back what the devil stole from me. I don't want nothing that the devil hands been on, right? But that beat, like all those beats be subbing though. So I think it's more so of the beat versus what they're actually saying. And then I think though with our generation, like with me growing up, we could separate the two. But this generation, they can't separate the two, right? They, I don't know, their brain cells is just, you know, but they can't separate the two. So, but I think it really does play a big part on how men view women, and even like Livy was saying, how women start to even view their own self.
Right.
You know, it's crazy. I used to just rock with the beat, but now I actually listen to what they're saying because my son, you know, we listen to rap and stuff like this, and I was listening to one song, Lil Pump, is Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. I'm like, all he said was Gucci Gang, and your mama staying in a trailer or something. I'm like, what the? It makes no sense.
Talking about who he slept with.
Yeah, I'm like, you could just play the beat and just, you know, mumble rap to that, and it would be good.
Right.
But you got to think about how we were. Like every generation has their own thing.
Right.
And that's why I tell them, I would never knock y'all thing because when it was our thing, like our parents didn't understand what is that. But then when it was our, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't knock it, but it's like, oh my God, it's just hard for us to see for you to call this rap. Like no, rap was like Tupac, Biggie. You know what I'm saying? But it's
so like, do you think it does shape and form their opinions of women and you know?
Some of them, yes. You know, for some of the kids that's not educated or have a mentor that's teaching them, you know, the ins and outs. Yeah, because you got to think a lot of kids are raised in single home families and they're left for the mothers to raise. And you got boys, and the boys are, you know, they're being raised by the streets, and they hear music and they feel that that's how it's supposed to go because this guy's successful. And what they got to realize is, the rapper isn't living that life because if he was, he wouldn't be a rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Got a whole wife and everything, kids, everything at home.
I try to tell people, man, look, it's like when you go, and you rap this stuff. Let's say if you actually did that, that's like you robbing somebody, going across the street, getting a microphone, and letting everybody know I just robbed that dude right there. Yeah. What you think gonna happen?
That is so true. Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Because they can catch a case based off of their lyrics.
But you know, the thing is, like Juvenile had Back That Ass Up, and that was our generation, but that was more like a dance song. You know what I'm saying? It was fun, you know.
I backed that ass up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we was right there to catch it, you know what I'm saying? Like, back it up.
Y'all, they're crazy.
That was the first mumble rapper, you know what I'm saying?
That was it. I was backing it up, dropping it loud.
But check it out, man.
And I couldn't pick it up. No, I was playing. I could.
I gotta bring in our special guest because I want to ask her some of these questions as well.
God,
you know what I'm saying?
Right?
We gotta know.
So she has experience, expertise in a lot of different areas. You know what I'm saying?
So,
she's known as a creator, a designer, an entrepreneur.
Come through.
You know what I'm saying? I want to invite what's the word I'm looking for? Introduce.
Formally
introduce Miss Marie Briggs, better known as Miss Marie. How you doing, Miss Marie?
Good evening. I'm doing fine.
Awesome.
What an awesome opportunity.
Oh, man. We so glad to have you. We're so glad to have you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Marie. And we're going to get into all this good stuff.
Well, a little bit about me. What I'm most passionate about is just being able to take my story to people to help them come out of their situations that they might find themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
They've been, right now, the climate is a lot of sex trafficking, a lot of sexual abuse. I want to be there to help those young ladies realize that they are worth more than what has happened to them.
Yes. And that is an epidemic. Being that, a lot of us almost have the same story, kind of from the hood. We all most of us come from poverty. Sometimes I used to always wonder, how do they get caught up like that? But now, getting older, I see how they get caught up like that because they don't know where to turn.
Right.
So it's like, what do you do when that's all you know?
Yeah.
So what do you do? And then, so how, Ms. Maria, how do you, or what do you do, or how would you preach your word to a young girl that's thinking of going that route? How do you get to them?
If she's trying to go into,
if you see her going down that dark path, and
sometimes you have to let people go down that dark path.
Right. Right.
Okay. Because it doesn't matter what I say, what I do. If she's going to do it, she's going to do it.
Right.
Okay. Now, when she comes out and she wants to listen, then I can.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're running behind people who really want to experience that, to think, oh, I'm bad, I'm this. It gives them credibility, street credibility and all that. And then they don't realize that it saps them. It takes their life away from them. And then when they're ready to return, sometimes they don't return.
They don't make it.
They don't make it.
About this human trafficking, I don't want to focus too much on this, but what are your thoughts about the high numbers of like Black women, falling victim to this? Like the numbers were alarming and it wasn't on local news. What are your thoughts about that?
Right.
I believe it's been going on all along. I think that the social media is now bringing it out to light.
Oh, wow.
I believe, I remember growing up, people were getting pulled away and stuff, and the parents wouldn't believe them and whatnot. This stuff was happening. It's just now that we have social media who can bring it to the light. But it's unfortunate that just with the sex trafficking alone, it's not just sex trafficking. It's organ
they're even taking the
crazy.
body
parts.
Good
the same
Lord.
thing you go with abortions. The abortions is the same thing. We make it legal. We take these babies. So we have to look what's going on politically, what's the things that are happening around us. We got a lot of stuff going on that we as a people have been ignoring, and now it's in our face. What do you do?
You know what's scary to me, and I tell my girl all the time. I'm like, things can go bad just like that.
Yeah.
And she's always, it's easy to say what you would do when it's not happening, but I saw a clip because a lot of girls think that, I'll knock him out, or it's like, okay, that's a man, first of all. Now, I saw a clip. There was a guy on a subway, and there was a girl sitting next to him, and there was a guy and a girl. He was asleep on the subway. She was awake, and there was a guy sitting across from her. Now, the guy touched the lady on the leg to ask her a question, and she said something, but you couldn't really hear what she said. And so when the subway stopped, the guy got up, and when he got up, he grabbed her, put his hand over her mouth, and just picked her and took her off.
I seen that. That was so
The guy
devastating.
he did it so fast. And she was like, bro, put me, bro.
He was gone.
He was already gone. I'm like, she's off the train. The door's about to close. And then she's calling for the other guy.
Yes.
And he finally wakes up. But he wakes up delirious, like, hey, what's going on? And then he steps off, but the guy lets her go. I'm like, now, that could have turned a totally different, because
he didn't have to let her go.
He didn't have
he could just ran off with her. He just picked her up and was gone.
Last week on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on
That's scary as hell.
It's like, so I try to tell my girl, I'm like, hey, listen, things can go bad real quick. You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch yourself, because like, especially women, even boys, but women more, because at least a man or somebody, a boy 16 and up, he can fight his way.
Yeah.
a woman can fight, but I mean,
But that's
9
why you
times
gotta
10,
hire
she
them.
gonna get hurt.
You're
Yeah,
gonna get hurt.
you know what I'm saying. So if he really wants you, he gonna get you.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what
why
I'm
you got to
saying?
carry your pocket knife.
Yeah.
like essence,
seriously,
yeah,
on
yeah.
pepper spray, you
Yeah.
have to be able to defend yourself. What are you gonna do when this 6 foot
Yeah.
guy comes to do anything?
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm 6 feet.
I'm gonna take your
I'm
organ.
6 feet. Essence. Then I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna take your organ.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Well, Miss
you probably
Marie.
have mine. If you take the right one.
No, I'm gonna take the right one.
But it does have to be a lot to do with prevention
Yes.
because a lot of times we put ourselves in situations that we think we can control and
Right.
we cannot.
That's true
Yes.
too.
Exactly.
We don't need to be out late at night, not knowing
Right.
where anybody is. We need to be aware of our surroundings,
Very much
where
so.
we're going, the company that we keep. We could be with
Very
some
much so.
people we think are our friends.
Yes.
Right.
They could set us up,
could
give
be.
us a bad drink or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's
And
over.
You wake up, you someplace else you have no business. You know, you don't know how you even got there.
It's,
That's
it's
so
crazy
smart.
you bring
Yeah.
that up because one more story, I promise.
Okay.
There was a guy right here in Santa Monica.
Mm-hmm.
He was friends with this lady for like 10 years.
Mm.
She went to the restroom. He dropped something in her drink, and the table next to them saw
Called
him
out.
and called him out. Called him out.
Golly.
And they were friends for 10 years.
The
and she was
devil
like,
is alive.
she was like, and so they called cops and they tested, and yeah, he put that GHB drug in her.
Wow.
I'm like, man, you were friends for 10 years. Why would you do that? And she was like, I don't know why he would have did that.
I heard a lot of people do it for money. Like sometimes
Maybe.
it's a money thing.
Hey.
Because they have
Mortgages
prices. They have prices on the amount of women you bring in. So I think
Yeah.
sometimes people are desperate, which is terrible. But
Yeah.
that's
couldn't do it.
that's the times we're living in. Like
Yeah.
people are that ruthless to stoop that low.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
They'll be like,
But Miss
"Oh,
Marie, I want to know about this playwright. you
Right.
got,
That's the
'cause
one I was getting to.
honestly, I'm sorry. That title of Excess Baggage spoke to me in so many ways.
Oh.
Just on a personal level, family wise. So I just want you to talk more about that. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Excess baggage. A woman's story, only you know when you had enough, is actually a play about my life. It chronicles the things that happened to me in my life, how I carried it, how I carried other people's burdens, believing that it was mine,
Mm-hmm.
and going to church believing I was all right. Literally on the brink of being mentally ill
Yeah.
because you believe
Yeah.
Miss
you
Marie, I love
know,
you.
over and over
And you
again.
packing that
it
stuff.
couldn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know why he did it. He said he loved me. They said they loved me. They didn't do anything. They didn't protect me. They didn't do. This goes on in your head over and over. And when you get to the point where you had enough, and my had enough was I ended up in a domestic violent relationship that ended, and he put his hands on me. And something shook me.
It wasn't him, right? Oh, okay.
No, he was shaking me.
Oh, okay.
But
Lord
something,
Jesus.
Yeah.
I stood up for myself
As you should.
and said,
Two
enough,
snaps to that.
Yeah.
Right.
enough. Love don't live here anymore.
Nah.
Yeah.
It has nothing
That's
to do
not
with
love.
love.
Yeah.
It's not
not
love.
love.
But when you grow up
Mm-hmm.
believing it is,
Yeah.
you invite those people into your life
Right.
because you're so accustomed to it.
Right.
Yes.
And I had to go on a journey to learn how to get rid of those excess baggage, to say, this did not belong to me. This belonged to my mom.
Mhm.
This belonged to my dad.
Mhm.
This belonged to society, the environment, the
Yeah.
school.
And
They
getting
told
rid
me,
of them.
and then just
And
starts
dropping them off.
dropping them off,
Yeah.
dropping them
That's
off,
powerful.
Drop 'em off.
to get where, to realize I had carried them for so long
Yeah.
that they became my best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
a
it
lot of
was
times
hard.
we accept things because
Yeah.
we think this is how we're supposed to be loved.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself like this 10 years down the line, you in an abusive relationship
Yeah.
because you think this is love.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome what
Yeah.
you're doing. And I just have to say that I had the great privilege, you guys, of going to the play, and it was
Wow.
breathtaking.
I want to see it.
It was
Yeah.
so awesome.
October.
She'll be doing
October.
10/10/2020 National
10.
Handbag Day.
National Handbag.
Handbag, get rid of those handbag ladies.
Yeah.
But send me all your Michael Kors bags. I'm just playing.
Right. No, we need them.
Miss Marie, let me ask you a question. This was a burning question. Like, Essence almost killed me for asking this question.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You're a religious lady, I take it. Oh, you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Could you date someone?
Oh boy.
Could you date someone in a different religion, with a different religion, or didn't believe in God?
I actually have dated someone who was a Muslim, but the saving grace was that he did not believe in the organization of Muslim either. That kind of worked. Because it was like, okay, we both on the same plane. But no, I don't believe that two can walk together when they're not equally yoked. For me and where I'm going in my life, I do believe there's one God, and I truly depend on Him. So if you're not following Him, I can't follow you. Bottom line.
Hallelujah. Just straight like that.
Yeah,
straight like
bottom
that,
line.
baby.
I love
You
it.
know,
like that.
first question, you know, because where I'm at in my life, I have an assignment. I have a time period that I need to do this. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I want to make sure that I'm able to touch each and every young lady who needs to be touched and loved and valued, to place that back in her so that I can move on.
That's great work.
Or young men.
Or young and men. Oh yeah, men. Because at the play, the men were crying more than I have more men, you know, in my support group and everything that come literally break down. Yeah. Literally break down.
I think we lean towards the females more, but it's so many so many men now that you know have experienced you know, or experienced homosexuality because they've been touched,
right,
and they don't know how. They want to break free, and you know they want to live their own truth, whether it's homosexuality, whatever it is, they want to live their truth, but they've been hurt. You know,
and that was a waking up for me because when I started it, I did it because I could feel another woman's pain. I knew it, and then God had to really shake me and say, is there really a difference between pain? Is there a man pain or a woman pain? Pain is pain.
Yeah.
Hurt is hurt.
Hurt is hurt.
Okay. So I had to stop looking at the body and deal with the heart, the pain, where that was coming from. And that's what God is trying to get at. Not the person.
Definitely.
You know, but be able to accept the man who's going through the same thing as a woman, who's not been able to say his truth. Right. His truth, have his voice.
So where do you see your business? Like, where do you see your company and what you're doing? What do you want your legacy to be?
My legacy, first of all, is love.
Okay.
Imparting love to the brokenhearted. I want to be that bridge that helps other people cross over from their hurt, their pain, into their possibility and their purpose. Because regardless of what happened in the past, we still have an assignment. Okay. A lot of things happened to me, but that just equipped me to take me to where God has already designed for me to go.
Absolutely.
I can't go to people that if I've never been hurt, I can't go to somebody and tell them how it feels. It can't be theory. It has to be real, because that's the only thing they're going to feel, because that's all I could feel. You know, so I just want to continue that. I'm really looking forward to working with the state so that I can talk to a lot of women who are on the welfare system or the state system, because when they rip this system from underneath them, who's going to help them?
Who's going to help them?
Right.
Because it's coming. It's already started.
I have a question. I know we were kind of talking about faith. What would you say to a woman who, you know, is a Christian or follow God's word, but they're holding on to so much baggage and they're unable to forgive the people or circumstances that have hurt them? What would you say to that woman?
Heal. I have dealt with women who feel like they're carrying all this excess baggage and they want a boyfriend. I'm like, so he's supposed to pick up your garbage and his, because if he's coming to you and accepting you, he sees what you already have. Okay. So there's something wrong with that relationship already. Okay. You see somebody with a lot of baggage. I'm like, I ain't carrying all that. And I got my own to carry, you know. But I want to encourage people to heal first before they start hurting other people, because hurt people hurt people.
Exactly.
And I have another question. I'm sorry.
Ma'am.
I want to know, do you feel like holding on to the past and holding on to this, that baggage can cause health issues?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Definitely high blood pressure.
All kind of. My family suffers from a lot of illnesses, and it's because they won't let it go.
Let it go.
And they're walking around, and I did it, circle around this year. And
what can you say to people who are,
come?
Yeah.
Come
talk to me.
Yeah, just come, because I'm not going back
to
help anybody who wants to stay there. Okay, this is you got to do the work. You got to walk. The Bible says, he told the man, pick up your bed and walk. You mean to tell me you've been laying here for 27 years by the pool of Bethesda with all this healing? You could have rolled over, but you want to wait for somebody to push you.
Right.
No, we're not in those days. And the healing comes when you're ready to start taking a walk.
That's it.
And say, I gotta let go of this.
That's it.
I gotta let go of that.
You
sound like me, because I found my peace. How did you find your peace?
I found my peace.
That's a great question.
The most. I've always been someone who believes in God, so I prayed and I went before the Lord and asked him for certain things. And the Lord literally told me that when he went to his father didn't recognize who I was because he didn't create me with all this excess baggage.
So you got it in front of you. Yeah. That's
Whoa.
deep. That's deep.
So you need to get it right. And the next time you come to me, you come withholding nothing. Because that's the only way you're going to have that relationship with him. Because all that other stuff gets in the way, And when I started, really dealing in and taking it all off, I can stand before God in my truth and know, no, I wasn't perfect. A lot of stuff I did caused, put myself. But when I look back, those decisions started
from
way before I even knew what was even happening.
Yeah.
And this piles up.
Yeah.
And now you're somebody you don't even recognize.
Right.
And I have peace looking at myself and
That's
saying,
awesome.
Miss
There you go.
Marie, is it harder for you to have these, working with women who are older, who are just kind of
we talk about
I guess I got my answer already. I think that would already answer my question.
No.
Is it harder working with the older women who are just damaged and who are kind of just stuck in their ways and feel like, no, this person did this to me,
and they hate the world.
And they hate the world? How is that?
It's very hard, and I had to make a decision that people tell you where they're at immediately. Okay. And I think I'm older than y'all, but I do hang more with younger people because their minds are open.
Yes.
It's so hard to work with an older woman because
Tell
she's carried
me
it
about
for
it.
so
Right.
long.
Oh, yes.
And she doesn't, even if you gave her undeniable proof, well,
Still
that's
won't believe,
it.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all
Right,
I know.
right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'll take it to my grave.
Right.
So you know what?
Hands
Lord,
off.
Go on.
Because we can't change the world.
No.
And we only can plant the seed.
Yeah.
God is the one that does
Yeah.
the increase.
Right.
But on that topic, I wanted to ask you about your trip to Africa.
Oh.
That was just
Woo.
I was reading your trip to Africa. Tell us a little bit about that.
You'll make me cry.
Uh-oh.
That was a miracle.
And where in Africa, by the way?
South Africa,
Ooh.
Johannesburg,
Yes.
Ivory Park.
Yes.
I went to Cape Town. I went to Catalan.
That's
I gotta
awesome.
get there.
True miracle. Something I've always wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
but never believed I could. And someone offered me the opportunity, and I said, let's go.
Yes.
And didn't have any money.
Mhm.
Charlotte can attest to that. I didn't have a penny.
Don't
And
feel
I
bad, me
started,
either.
and I started asking. The Lord told me
Wow.
to ask,
Mm.
and I started asking, and the money started rolling in.
Mm.
And I was able to go. I was the first one who paid. They were
That's
like,
what I'm talking
I was in
about.
Africa. Money, people were still sending me money.
Wow.
So
Look at God work.
yeah.
Mm.
But also that comes from me being truth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
People know when I'm doing things that I'm being for real
Right.
about it, and my passion is about helping others. Okay.
So what did you do? What did
So
you do?
when we went over there, it was I joined up with another group to do a girls' conference,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
and we're first of all, we're so blessed.
Amen. We are.
We are so blessed, and we
take so much for granted.
Yeah.
for granted.
Mhm.
These babies are in poverty, literally living in, clay
Mhm.
and whatnot. And they don't have, they were asking me, Mom, do you have a toothbrush? And I'm like, baby, I didn't even bring my bag. A toothbrush?
Mm.
Wow.
She didn't want jewelry. She wanted a toothbrush.
Mm.
The things that we, like you said, take for granted.
granted.
Mhm.
But the most, I guess, compelling or the call to action that I had was when I had an opportunity to do excerpts from the play.
Yes.
And I literally just started crying because I was like, God, you brought me all the way over here to do this.
Mm.
That was a lot. But then what's even more is that the little girls started lining up. And I was like, oh, they're coming up to, hug me and whatnot. They began to tell me that they had been sexually abused.
Man, oh man.
And that their mothers didn't believe them. Their
Mm.
mothers put them out. They had nowhere to go. I literally had to call a social worker for one. These baby, and I said, where are you living? From here to there. So that means she's at risk again
For
because in
anything
there,
to happen.
for
Yeah.
anything to happen. And I walked away feeling like I can't do anything.
And that's a
Mhm.
terrible feeling.
That's-
It's a
right.
But what the Lord is just really put in me, I want to build a safe house there for them.
Yes.
I communicate with them. And literally,
Wow.
I was just talking to them the other day.
Wow.
And one young lady was just telling me, you're my heroine because you're the only one who did anything for me.
Wow.
She's in
Mhm.
church,
Mhm.
Wow.
singing in the choir,
Wow.
and she couldn't tell her pastor
Wow.
what was going on because of the family,
Yeah.
all of the
It
stigma
just-
that's attached.
Very
Wow.
much so.
And it's,
Man,
Unfortunate.
this is one of the ones where I wish we can go.
We definitely have to have a part two. We have to have a part
we definitely
two.
will have to have a part two because I do want to hear more of your stories and stuff like that. Because I mean, it's captivating. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But I know we running low on time, so I wanna thank you, Miss Marie. How do we get in contact with
Yes.
you or keep in contact?
Instagram,
Okay.
using what I got.
Using what I got.
I love
I love that.
Using
That-
what
Okay.
I got.
Is
the
it
handle.
using USING?
It's using.
Using. Okay,
Yes.
using what I got.
You.
Okay.
Mm.
Mhm.
I love
On
that.
Instagram.
On
All right, y'all. So
Woo!
there you have it,
I'm
man.
over here
Boy,
like,
So much, Miss
we
Marie.
giving you some heat on the Get
Man.
Down Live, man. It is going down. Well, check it. Miss Marie, thank you for coming in.
Thank
we
you.
really
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Very
I
much
want to
so.
thank Livy E. I want to
Yes,
thank
yes.
Essence Love. for
Yes,
sta-
I'm over here
for-
high,
for
like, oh
staring at
man,
me.
this is right here.
amazing.
Livy E, Essence Love. We
Yes.
got Miss Marie. It's
2020,
going down.
thank you.
It's 2020, baby.
We
We
here.
putting it down. Man, look, I'm your man, Sly Jones. Livy E.
Livy
For
E.
Essence Love.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in.
We'll
This
see-
is the Get Down Live.
See you next
Woo.
time.